Hey everyone, today we're going to be talking more about getting your doTERRA business online. And what I want to talk about is web hosting, what it is and which option is best. And the objectives that I have for this video is to explain the possible benefits and drawbacks to each of the options I'll present so that you can choose the option that fits you and your business best. So even though I'll give you a recommendation at the end of the video, I'm going to try and present it in a way that if one of the options sounds like it would work great for you or your business, you choose that one. That would be great. I'm just trying to help you understand what hosting is and how you can have less headaches, which is my second bullet point. I'm going to give you my personal experience and help you avoid those headaches. The third thing I want to do is allow you to gain that confidence that you need in order to start to grow your online doTERRA presence. Because until you get your blog or website or store online, you can't make any money. You can't get new leads. You can't be seen as a professional online. So let's get started on doing that today. So types of hosting that we're going to be talking about today, there's three. There's software as a service, which sometimes is referred to as SaaS. There's blogging platforms. And then the last one is self-hosted solutions. So throughout the slides, I'll be talking about each of them as well as their pros and cons. The first is software as a service. And what this is that it's a company or software that has been developed that allows you to pay them for their service. So they'll create an easy interface that you can type your text in to create a website. Choose from a template to create something really nice. And that's how they make their money. They make it really easy. It's cloud hosted, your site is, which means that they host your website. They take care of everything. You don't have to have a bunch of different, your web hosting company, then the software as a service. It's very integrated, which makes it nice. You pay them for features and benefits that allow you to build a website or blog. Sometimes it's free, but it will have limitations when it's free, whether they display ads or you only have a certain amount of storage space. Things that will incentivize you to pay more for more features. So you may be able to get away with some free options in the beginning as you're growing your company, but as you grow and want to become more professional and have more products, you may have to pay more. So some examples of software as a service are Wix.com or Squarespace or Shopify.com. Each of these three do similar things, but some are more specialized. Like for example, Shopify.com, it has a very e-commerce focus, which e-commerce means allowing you to sell product online. So they have great tools and great features on allowing you to do that. But also Squarespace lets you do the same thing. They have some great accounting, built-in features that make it super easy to not only get your product out there, but once it does sell, keep track of all those taxes and everything. And the next thing that I want to talk about are the pros and cons. And the pros of software as a service are they have some great starting templates. It makes it really easy to choose from a design and start plugging your content and your pictures directly in to the website. They have a lot of features. And like I talked about, they have e-commerce, accounting, blog features, and drag and drop. So the drag and drop basically means that you can drag text onto your website or pictures. You just click it, drag it over and drop it and fill it in with your content. It's that easy. It makes it really fast for those people who don't have a lot of web experience or don't want to have to learn it or go through any of that. They have backup features which allow you to back up your website in case something bad happens. Some of the cons are it can be expensive, between $50 and $30 per month, depending on what features you do want and how big your site is becoming. But you will be paying for extra features at times. That's how they make their money. The domain name is another downfall because when you just sign up, if you're going with a free solution or a lower tiered price range, they will give you a domain name with like your site or whatever you choose your site name to be, .wix.com or .squarespace.com. And that can be seen as less professional in our industry today. There is a learning curve with some of these options just because they do have different interfaces and they can take some time to understand, but most of them have tutorials on how you can use it. So within a few hours, you should be able to know how to put a website together. There is no real control over your site's files, which can be a hassle. So for example, if you're trying to take your website that you've built with one of these solutions and transfer it to another company, there's no real way to do that because they make their money off of their software. So if you built a website with their software and you want to take it to another company, that doesn't benefit them that much. So that's a downfall in my eyes, just because I don't want to be stuck with a company that I'm paying a lot of money for if I don't like their service. There can be limited storage as well, like I already previously talked about. The second item I want to talk about are blogging platforms. Similar to a software as a solution, but it's for the intent of blogging. And some examples of this are Blogger, which I'm sure you've all heard about, as well as WordPress. So these two options are very popular. And with WordPress in particular, there are two types of WordPress that I want to talk about in the upcoming slides because I think they're very important. There's WordPress that's hosted by WordPress. So the company hosts their own software for you to get you started, which can be free, but it has limited features. And there's also the self-hosted WordPress where you can download their software and host it on your own for free and take advantage of all its features. And I'll show you why that's a better option in some upcoming slides. So pros and cons to blogging platforms. The pros are it's quick to sign up, makes it super easy. It also has a simple interface. You can create new pages, new posts, add images. It's very easy. And there's a lot of tutorials out there on showing you how to do this. It's very popular. So Blogger is made by Google, which I'm sure we've all heard about. The next, WordPress powers 20% of all the websites online today, which is incredible when we think of the vast number of websites. So between Blogger and WordPress, you can see millions of people are using these pieces of software, which obviously means that they are doing something right. Another pro is it can be free, but it does have limitations. Like I said, whether it's storage space or the domain name, whatever it may be. The cons, there are some limited features when hosting your website through Blogger or WordPress.com. They do have ads that are displayed on your content. Not so much on Blogger, but WordPress will post some ads. Some themes can be expensive, so you can buy some themes using these solutions. However, they do have free themes, but you're obviously going to get what you pay for. These themes can range between $50 and $100 depending on the complexity and the features that come with the theme. There's no solid e-commerce functionality built into these solutions right out of the box, but through WordPress, I'm going to show you later on how easy that can be. You're obviously going to have to pay sometimes for more of the features as well as the domain name when using these two. So when you sign up, you might get a mysite.blogspot.com or mysite.wordpress.com. And the my site is just in there for a placeholder. It'll be whatever your username or whatever the name you choose will be, which can obviously be less professional in our industry. Some people might see your website if you refer them and say, hey, go to my website at myhealthyoils.wordpress.com or .blogspot.com. They might think, well, are they just a small blog? Or, they might see you as a smaller company and someone who doesn't have any credibility or reputability. And this also has limited storage as a downside as well. So the last one I want to talk about is self-hosted. And what self-hosted is you pay for a space on a server that allows you to host your files so people are able to visit your website. So for example, if I had one of these servers, you could come to me and say, hey, Kyle, I have a website. I want to pay you for space on your server so people can visit my website. So companies are doing this and allowing you to use their servers to have a website. And some of these examples as companies are Bluehost, GoDaddy, HostGator, and thousands upon thousands of other hosting companies. And you may know someone who goes with a hosting company and they may recommend that company to you, which is great. I want you to be able to choose whatever hosting company you feel is best. I personally use Bluehost quite a bit. I think they have great customer support, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about them in an upcoming slide as well. But first, the pros to self-hosted websites is it can be cheap. It can be $5 per month or sometimes cheaper. But you may be looking at that and saying, well, I don't want to pay $5 per month just to host a website. Well, it depends on what you're trying to accomplish. Like I said, if you want to be seen as a professional and sell product and things like that, I recommend getting some hosting. It's worth the $5 per month, definitely. There's more flexibility and freedom when you host your own website, because if you want to change from one web hosting company to another, there are options to be able to do that. There's scalability, which I mean by this is growth of your website. So if you only have a few hundred people coming per month in the beginning to your website, you're not going to need a whole lot of hosting capacity. But say that grows a lot more in the future, you can easily add more features onto your website very easily. A few dollars a month will get you plenty of space, plenty of bandwidth, things that you'll need to grow your website. It's simple to install WordPress. They make it really easy, and there are a lot of free themes. There's free plugins that extend the functionality of your website, which are awesome. Some cons are there is a learning curve at times when using these control panels for the hosting companies, and it can possibly be slow depending on the time of the day. So what I mean by this is when you go to one of these hosting companies, you're going to be sharing that space with other people's websites. So if there's a time in the middle of the day that a lot of people are visiting the other websites you're sharing with, as well as your website, it's going to slow the response time of your website down a little bit. So that can be a con. It doesn't happen a lot, but it is a possibility. So I want to talk a little more about WordPress really fast, because like I said, 20% of the web uses WordPress, and there are two versions of WordPress. The first one is the WordPress that's hosted by the company WordPress, and then the second one is a self-hosted WordPress software. And I always prefer self-hosted for its flexibility. Like I said, I don't want to have to go to WordPress.com and sign up for my own little blogging username and password just so that I can get a little blog that shows ads on it, and have to pay more for more features. I would much rather pay $4.95 a month for hosting and then easily install WordPress on that hosting to be able to have more features. And you can do that with Bluehost. Bluehost is the hosting provider I talked about earlier. With them, they offer some affordable hosting and award-winning customer support. We use Bluehost hosting our websites all the time. We've been happy with them, and they've been great working with us as well. I've also created a video showing you how you can get started with Bluehost and create your own blog in under 5 minutes. And the 5 minutes includes me signing up with Bluehost, getting a domain name, then installing WordPress on my site, and posting my first post all in 5 minutes. I have a link down below that you should watch. I highly recommend that, using Bluehost with WordPress. So the summary of this video is our recommendation that we always give to people is you should probably self-host through Bluehost using WordPress. The only important thing here is that you get started. You can't see success until you start. So I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions or concerns at any time, visit us at howtogrowdough.com and send us a question, an email, and we'd love to get back to you, or post in the comments below. All right, thanks. Have a great day.